Well, here we go. It's 9 February. And I've been wanting to do this for a while now. We'll see how it works. The Theory of Stupidity, or why the world is so messed up right now. Well, I gotta be honest with you. I don't actually feel like I'm totally qualified to present this video. So I'm going to rely upon my old friends, some philosophers from previous days. Heavy hitters for sure. We'll start with Arthur Schopenhauer. He spent I won't say his entire life, but a good chunk of it, studying this question, and what he discovered wasn't that stupid people are accidents of nature. Direct quote from Schopenhauer: "If a person is stupid, we excuse him by saying that he cannot help it. But if we attempted to excuse in precisely the same way the person who is bad, we would be laughed at." In other words, we seem to let stupidity slide, while other problems in life we try and have some accountability. Okay, let's get right to it. Schopenhauer asked a few questions. Why does stupidity persist? Why doesn't natural selection eliminate it? Why do intelligent people keep being outnumbered by those who can't think clearly? He came up with some answers to those questions. We'll run right through them here. Stupidity requires less energy than intelligence. And it seems to me that we have a lot of laziness in the world today, a lot of sloth, a lot of indolence, a lot of laying about. I can't be bothered. I don't want it's too much work. So, studies have found that a brain that is active consumes 20% more energy than one that is idle, that is just droning along. So, in keeping with the fact that a lot of people nowadays seem to be fairly lethargic or lazy, I guess stupidity works for them. Next, he assessed that stupidity enables obedience. That's right. Dumb people are easy to lead. Thinking people are harder to lead. We're going to circle back to that here in a minute and see why that is what it is. Next, he came along and said stupidity is immune to self-doubt. Stupid people never think that they're stupid. It's amazing. And that's part of the Dunning-Kruger effect there, where people think they're smarter than they really are. But in this case, the stupid don't ever doubt what they think or believe in. There's no self-doubt. Next, he figured out that stupidity is easier to manipulate. That goes back to stupidity enables obedience. The hallmark of all totalitarian societies is we want to dumb down the populace so that we can control and manipulate them. They're more obedient that way. Great. So the leaders out there in many countries prefer it if their populations remain ignorant. Intelligence is punished. Stupidity is rewarded. We've seen that at work, or at least some of us have. You go to work, and while you're there, you have to attend a meeting. And there's several people in the meeting, and a new program or a new situation has arisen, and management comes in and they say, "This is what we're going to do." And a bunch of people around the table nod their head, and yeah. Then there's that guy off on the side who raises his hand up and says, "Hey, that's a good idea. However, have you considered that if we do that, we might end up with some different ramifications that were unintended?" That person is immediately put upon by everyone in the room. The leadership doesn't like to be questioned. They don't like actual opinions and input. They say always, I always love this, Well, my door is always open. Yeah, but my mind is always closed ought to be the subline on that. Management just does not like to be questioned. Leaders do not like to be questioned. We see this with the types of blockades that they put up to getting to actually talk to them or put a question to them. And if it's in a public setting, oh, we're going to guard against that absolutely. And stupidity, the yes men, the one that shake their heads like the sheep and the lemmings, they're rewarded. They get promoted. They get all the good things. Where the people who question, the people who think, are not rewarded. In fact, sometimes we just fire them. Stupidity reproduces faster than intelligence. Oh boy, there's going to be a whole bunch of people, haters out there for this one. That's right, dumb people breed a lot. They have more children. So as time goes on, stupidity outproduces or reproduces faster than intelligence. You end up with more and more stupid people, and by percentage, less and less intelligent people. And this is how stupidity grows. And what does that mean in today's world? You know, people say, well, why do you care about politics? And I always say to them, well, that's okay. You don't have to care about politics. But trust me, politics is going to care about you. Laws are made to control you. So you might as well get involved in that decision-making process, particularly if you're a thinking person. And one of the things I'd like to point out here is the political spectrum, the continuum, shall we say, from one end to the other. In this graph over on the left, we have anarchy, which nothing going on there. There's no government at all. Over on the far right-hand side, we have communists, fascists, Marxists, and Nazis. This is the correct positioning of all this. Notice we go from anarchy to libertarianism to conservatism to, in America, Republicans, Democrats, socialists, then over on the far side, communists, fascists, Nazis, Marxists of all stripe. The reason for this is that this graph accurately preserves the continuum that runs from zero government control to absolute government control. Fascism, communism, and Nazism all share the single most important aspect of government. They strive for total control over their citizens. In those types of totalitarian governments, they control people totally. On the other end of the spectrum, if you have anarchy as your system, well, anarchy, there's no government at all. There's no control whatsoever. Libertarianism would be the least amount of government. It strives to have government at the least control over its citizens. Only in anarchy do you have zero control, no government at all. Understanding this concept correctly will show you that those on the left-hand end of the political spectrum today are the party closest to that of the Nazi ideal. So, I'm basically a Republican, sometimes a conservative. Yet when I have conversations with people, they'll accuse me of being a Nazi when they themselves are a democratic socialist. Yeah, reality check time. I'm more of a non-government controlled type of person where the others are for government control, making them closer to a Nazi than I am. I know it's a tough pill to swallow for some people, but that's reality. If you don't like this concept, then you're absolutely free to move about on that spectrum wherever you like, provided, of course, you're not in a totalitarian government over on the far right-hand side, where movement or say in how things are run is severely restricted. Following on along with this, another famous political theorist, Hannah Arendt, German-American. She was born over in Germany and immigrated eventually to the United States. She studied the Nazi regime during its time and after its time. And to quote her, she says, the ideal subject of a totalitarian rule is not the convinced Nazi or the dedicated communist, but people for whom the distinction between fact and fiction, true and false, no longer exist. In other words, stupid people are enablers of extremist totalitarian governments, but they lack the capacity themselves to actually be those evil people, but they facilitate it. Another quote from her, evil comes from the failure to think. It defies thought, for as soon as thought tries to engage itself with evil and examine the premise and principles from which it originates, it is frustrated because it finds nothing there. What she called the banality of evil, the commonality, and evil becomes commonplace when people don't do anything about it. They choose ignorance over proactive questioning. Another favorite of mine, personally, Mr. Machiavelli. I know a lot of people, oh, he's an evil guy. No, he wasn't. He was not an evil guy. He was an observer of what is going on out there in the real world. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. I can speak to that directly. Yes, people imagine me to be a certain way, but until they really get to know me, they're usually not really too accurate in their assessments. Machiavelli wrote a lot about how stupid people become powerful people. And if we were to move his teachings or writings into this century, influencers with little expertise are listened to more than people with vast subject knowledge. We see this all the time. We call it the celebrity endorsement. You know, from the time I was a young man, I questioned the celebrity endorsement. I thought, wow, here is Arnold Palmer, a man who was a very good golfer, and he would be trying to tell us on his television commercials to use a certain brand of oil. I don't know that Arnold Palmer knew anything about oil. He certainly wasn't a petroleum engineer. He certainly wasn't a chemist. He certainly wasn't even a car mechanic. So what does he know about what oil I should put in my car? He doesn't. But yet his celebrity status caused the advertisement people to hire him, pay him a large sum of money to advertise their oil. And I always thought that was just insane. What I failed to take into account was everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience really who you are, and influencers with little expertise are listened to more than people with vast knowledge. We see this too much with football stars, rock stars, Hollywood movie actors attempting to explain to us, the normal public, who to vote for, what things to believe in. They attempt to tell us what to do. And I just can't understand why we would listen to them. But Machiavelli puts the shade of light on that, where they appear to be someone who is knowledgeable. Therefore, in the famous old commercial, I may not be a doctor, but I play one on TV, so you can listen to me. It's insane. Next, we have a little bit from Nietzsche. The most basic form of human stupidity is forgetting what we are trying to accomplish. Perhaps that should be directed towards the teaching industry. Teachers, professors, people of that profession. Every virtue inclines to stupidity, every stupidity to virtue. stupid to the point of sanctity. Yes, we're going to make it into a religion. They say this in Russia, let us be careful, lest out of pure honesty we eventually become saints and boors. Yes, rising to that level. You see this all the time. Stupidity is almost like a religion now. If you don't belong, then it's not a good thing, and we're going to ostracize you from the rest of society. We are going to believe what we've been told on faith alone. Amazing. In conclusion, because I don't want to go on too long here, there's no doubt that the world is being run by those who have risen to leadership positions because all the world's societies have chosen to indoctrinate their children instead of educating them. The mantra of socialism has been on the steady rise. The warm embrace of collectivism is what Mr. Mondami said in New York after his election, is the rejection of reality, and it is nothing more than an acceptance of stupidity. There never has been a socialist society that has worked. There never will be. It is antithetical to human nature. But it is a lovely thing to guarantee people, you'll get free bus service. You'll get free health care. That's always my favorite, free health care. Oh, doctors are going to work for free now, are they? Wow, that's incredible. They're going to spend all that money, 8 years worth of college and the torture of a residency and all that just to be paid nothing? And the hospital's just going to build itself. There doesn't have to be out there laying any bricks, pouring concrete, putting in plumbing, wiring, and all that. There is no such thing as free health care. There's just health care that other people pay for, in your case. So wake up to that. Yeah. The flight of capital, or that would be money, out of states and cities here in the United States who are in the thrall of warm embrace of collectivism are going to find out that all the productive people will exit. They will leave. They will go somewhere else if they possibly can. And likewise, the businesses too. I'll give you the example here recently. Chicago, Illinois, that is well down the path of socialism. One of the largest companies there and one of the largest economic companies in the world, Boeing Aircraft, announced, we're out of here. We are leaving. We don't want to pay the endless increase in taxes to live in a city or to work or have our headquarters in a city that is slowly decaying into chaos. We're not going to be people that fund that. Sorry. Out in California, you're watching the exit of many companies, and even those with a liberal side to them, the tech industries, Microsoft, Oracle, and others are in the process of leaving. So California is going to be looking for more tax money somewhere, but it won't be coming from those people or those corporations. Well, I guess that's about it. I don't have much more to say about this, but believe me, politics cares about you. So you better get engaged. You better actually start looking at what these people are that are the leaders. What do they bring to the table other than a persona and a promise? Start doing a little work. It's time to stop being a sloth. It's time to engage yourself in a little bit of education. Look at what they have voted for in the past. Or if they have not voted in the past, if they are a brand new person into the political arena, then do some research on who these people actually are. Don't just listen to their mindless promises, because most of that is just nonsense. Okay, 9 February 2026, and I am